So we're here in Northern Ireland to speak to the pistol Mark Allen, a man who typifies the nation's spirit, hard-working, tenacious and passionate. He is well known for having tremendous bottle, and boy has he demonstrated that over the past 2 seasons, where a run of 6 titles, including the UK Championship in 2022, has lifted him to the world #1 spot for the very first time. Only 11 other men have achieved that feat, placing him amongst the sport's giants.
That's a wonderful shot.
The pistol has hit his target. Come on. One take, Alan.
What a performance.
Northern Ireland's Mark Allen.
World #1 Mark Allen, thanks for inviting us to your club in Antrim. How have you been? How's the summer been for you?
It's been hectic, to be honest. No snooker at all of any note, and lots of things happening for me off the table, which is good. It's been keeping me busy, but it'd be nice to get back to proper practice here soon.
Yeah, one of the things that's been a big story for you and a big plus for you over the last couple of years is how off the table you've been in a really great place, and it's shown on the table as well.
Yeah, things are going really well. No, private life's good. Financially in a better position than I was, and just even mentally, I'm looking forward to playing a lot more than I was as well. As much as I love the game, there was days that it was tougher to come here with other things that were going on. I don't have any of that distraction anymore. I can come here and just enjoy playing.
Did you like me introducing you as world #1? Does that sound good?
Yeah, get used to that. It'd be nice to hear that properly in the first intro and some tournament coming up. But yeah, it was a strange way to get there. The way it happened with Judd and Ronnie obviously losing in the quarterfinals, but the rankings don't lie at the end of the day. You know, over the last 2 years I've been the most consistent player, and that's what your rankings are there to reflect. But it's up to me now to go out there this year and prove that I'm the best player in the world.
Let's reflect on the Worlds with just over a month from it now. A last 16 defeat to John Higgins 13-12. It was an incredible match. What do you think about now when you reflect on it? What are your thoughts on it?
Probably the same that happened at the time. I felt like it was a match that got away from me. There was a number of frames that I should have won and didn't. Yeah, I know I missed a sort of easy red in the last frame, but I don't feel like I lost it in the last frame. I felt like I lost it by not being further in front early on, and that's more disappointing than anything because I felt like I had a real good chance this year. But I'm probably going to be biased here because I was involved in it, but it was probably the match of the tournament. No, I think we both played some really good stuff. There was ultra respect between myself and John. We were great competitors, and just to be part of that, even though it was not good for me, to be part of that match and part of that clearance that he took, to stay in the top 16, you could see what it meant to him. That'll live long in the memory for a lot of good reasons, not just the bad.
It's an iconic moment at the end as well, with his arms in the air. Snooker players want to be involved in match at the Crucible. They want to be involved in iconic matches at the Crucible.
Yeah, and like, you could see how much it meant to John. You don't see a lot of emotion from John at the best of times, so it showed how much it did mean, and testament to him that he still was able to take that clearance out, given how much it was clearly meaning to him. So yeah, it's disappointing for me because I'm on the wrong end of it, but it's happy to see John get that sort of euphoric feeling that he's had so many times in his career, because it was a rough couple of years for him, losing close matches, so it was maybe a bit of a relief to finally win one that was close.
No disrespect to the guys who got through to the quarters, the semis and then the final, but it did feel like the draw opened up after you went out. Obviously then Ronnie and Judd went out also. Do you look back and think a little bit of a missed opportunity, or did you park it straight away and move on?
Probably both. It was a missed opportunity because you only get one chance a year at winning the World Championships, and I didn't do it, so it was a missed opportunity in that sense. But with regards to the draw opening up, okay, it opened up on paper when it comes to rankings, but you don't fluke a world title, you don't fluke getting to the later stages, so the people that got there are the ones that deserve to be there. So no one can ever question how well Kyron played throughout the 17 days, and he thoroughly deserved his win, and Jack Jones as well, getting to the final, beating some unbelievable players and producing some great performances. So yeah, a chance missed, but it's a chance every year that you end up missing if you don't walk away with that title.
And despite going out in the last 16, a positive tournament for you in that, as I said, you became world #1. Were you aware of the permutations whilst you were in Sheffield at the event?
Yeah, I'm sort of quite clever when it comes to the mathematics of it all, and I knew what I had to do. Obviously, if I got to the final, it sort of took care of itself, but losing early, I knew then Judd and Ronnie needed to not get to the final or potentially win it in Ronnie's case. Whenever I did lose, though, I fully expected one of those two to go on and win it. You know, everyone was tipping them for meeting in that semi-final, and you know, it never materialised. But it was very anticlimactic, honestly, sitting at home and getting the world #1 spot that way. I would much rather have been out there winning a match or winning a tournament to get there. But like I said before, the rankings don't lie.
And presumably that doesn't take, or it might take a bit of gloss off that you didn't get that moment where you became world #1, but presumably it's something that you've been longing for ages, for some time.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, you've always got two career goals, you know, starting out in the sport, and that's to be world #1 and world champion. So I've crossed one of those off the list, and it's up to me to keep working hard to get the second one. But look, whether it comes sitting at home or comes by winning the tournament, I'm still world #1, so that's something I'll always remember. No, I think it's only the 12th person to be #1 in the world ranking, so you know, there's a lot of positives to take from it. But another positive for me is that there's so much improvement I still feel in my game, and if I can do that, then hopefully I can hang on to that for a long time to come.
And it's a 2-year ranking list, so your performance is over 2 years, but presumably you feel this is something that's been building for a lot longer than that. It's a careers long body of work that's gone into this to get you to this point. You know, guys back in this club, guys when you were younger, and people who've supported you, family, friends, all of that has built up to this point.
Absolutely. Look, I started playing at 12, and everything that I've learned, you know, good and bad, all make me the person I am now, and that's sort of the person that's become world #1. There's not any immediate change that sort of helped that, you know, occur. It's all those things that have accumulated over the last 26 years, but I still feel like I have a lot more learning and improving to do, and I don't want to just be world #1 for a few weeks or months. I want to be there for a long, long time, and for me to be able to do that, the way the rankings work, I need to be ultra consistent year on year, and that's what the very, very best do. The likes of Selby, Trump, Ronnie, Higgins, Hendry, Davis, Williams, all those guys have been ridiculously consistent for a long, long period, not just 1 or 2 years, and I need to do that.
What's been the key attribute, or perhaps the key change over the last few years that has got you to world #1?
Probably just getting my head around the fact that I don't have to play well to win tournaments. I always felt like I needed to be at my very best to compete with the top guys. It's not like that for me anymore. I feel like my game's well-rounded enough that I've been around well long enough to know what the shots are. I can handle pressure situations more often than not. Just don't get too down on yourself. You're going to make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes, and I think that's something I've really improved on, not beating myself up out there and knowing that you can win playing your B and C and D games, but it would be nice if that A game came out to play a lot more often.
There was a lot of talk actually last season, I think probably more than this season, about that B game, C game, D game, to the point where it was probably almost frustrating you a little bit, because people were saying it as if like it wasn't a good thing. But the fact you were still winning matches and maybe not playing your best, that's still being a good snooker player, right?
Well, ultimately it's all about winning. No one's going to remember in years to come how I beat Zhang Anda in the Players' Championship final. They're just going to remember that my name's on the trophy. It wasn't a pretty match, but like I said, in years to come, no one's going to remember that. It's just about winning. No, I want to go out there and make centuries and make big breaks and entertain the crowd, and that's the intention I go out with every single match that I play. But if that's not working, then I feel like I've got a lot more strings to my bow now, and a lot of players on tour don't have that.
And having those extra strings to your bow makes you a better player.
Absolutely. So like the criticism that comes with it doesn't bother me in the slightest. Like people, the pundits and stuff in the media, they have to talk about something at the end of the day. And yes, okay, I've changed my game a little bit in recent years, but they have to talk about something. But ultimately, a number of times in the last 2 years, they've talked about me winning tournaments, and that's the most important thing.
Was there a moment last season where you accepted it as well? Like, I remember chatting to you, and we were talking about the British Open at the start of the year. You played really well but didn't win it. And then as perhaps you lost a little bit of form in your game, say January time, you were still winning tournaments. You won the World Grand Prix. And it was almost like at that point you accepted that this is fine to play this way and still win as long as I'm picking up tournaments.
Absolutely. Look, if I started going on long runs that I wasn't winning events, then I'd have to maybe consider trying to change things. But why would I change things when I've won 6 tournaments in the last 2 seasons? I've got the world #1, which is a lifetime goal. You know, it's easy to sit and criticise if you're in a commentary box or a punditry booth and in the studio and things like that, but ultimately I'm winning. I'm winning more than anyone else in the world right now, so there's a lot of good things happening.
And I think probably the one key word people talk about when they talk about Mark Allen and your snooker over the last few years is bottle and coping with pressure in the big moments. Why is that? Where has that come from?
I've always had that belief that I can clear up, from 50 down in frames. I can pot important balls at important times and win deciding frames. I've probably got a really good record in my career in deciding frames, and as much as Robbie likes to remind me of that red I missed against Higgins, I do all right in deciding frames. So look, you're going to lose some in a long career, and that's just one of the ones that I lost. But in the grand scheme of things, I always back myself, and I think that's just a Northern Ireland thing. We're just brought up that way. You've got grit, determination. You know, Jordan and Robbie are both very, very good when it comes under pressure, and you've seen even in the past with like Joe Swale and even Alex Higgins and Dennis Taylor before that, they were always very gritty, determined, won a lot of close games, and I think that's just where we're from and how we're brought up.
And moving into the new campaign, do you still feel like, although you are world number one, to almost be regarded as the best player in the world, you need to consistently beat the likes of, I know it's obviously very difficult, but Ronnie O'Sullivan, Judd Trump, Mark Selby, these guys around the sort of top of the rankings as well?
I think that's something I have done outside of Ronnie. I think I've got a winning record against nearly every other top player, so I don't think I've got anything to prove in that regard. I just want to keep winning tournaments and keep ticking boxes, and it'd be nice to add to that sort of Triple Crown sort of tournament list as well, because I've only won 2, and it's up to me to go out there and try and win more. If I can keep winning tournaments and keep that confidence high, keep my ranking high, I think it's only a matter of time before I win more of those big events.
So that's the target, is those Triple Crown events really, to add to them?
Don't get me wrong, I'm taking nothing away from the other tournaments. I want to win every tournament I enter. But ultimately you're going to be judged in your career how many Triple Crowns you've won. So I'm a million miles off the top players when it comes to that. So it's up to me to keep working hard on the practice table and try and change those numbers.
We've spoken about the big events, but I want to bring you right back here to Antrim. What do you love so much about playing in Antrim and playing snooker here, this club, with the likes of Jordan and Robbie too?
Look, it's what I've been part of for 26 years now. When I first played snooker, the first club that closed down in 2000, the people that were involved in that club are the same people that are involved in this club 26 years later. We're all like a real close-knit community. We're close enough that when you miss a ball against John Higgins, you can come in here and someone gives you a bit of banter about it, and that's what it's all about. I'd be the first to wind Jordan up or wind Robbie up if they've had like a bad loss, and they'd do the same to me. And the camaraderie in here is really, really good. Look, we're all ultra competitive on the table, but we all want to see each other do well as well. There's no jealousy whatsoever. And I think it's exciting for me and Jordan now to have Robbie here as a new pro, because he's going to be buzzing coming into that new season, first year on tour, and we can hopefully rekindle some memories. Me and Jordan, we've been around a long time of how exciting that is, and that can feed off into us. But it's just a great place to be a part of, and it's a close-knit community. Anytime any one of us here have done really well, or even other guys in the club that do well in the amateur stuff, we always support each other, and I don't think that'll ever change.
Do you feel that responsibility a bit with, say, like a young guy like Robbie coming in, to almost coach him, mentor him a little bit, show him the way? Because obviously you were once in that position as well, and those people at such a young age mean so much.
Yeah, look, I was fortunate in the sense that whenever I started, I had a lot of help from other people, but I want Robbie to sort of grow up and be his own person. I don't want him to just sort of be talked about as the next Mark Allen, because he's better than that, to be honest. He wants to be the next Robbie McGuigan, and that's a great thing. I'll always be there if he wants to pick my ear and ask questions, and even on or off the table, I'll always be there to help. But I think it's important he finds his own way, because what might have worked for me and was bad for me might be the complete opposite for Robbie, so only he'll be able to know that. But I'll always be there in his corner, as I'm sure Jordan and other will be here as well.
And what is it about Northern Ireland? It just seems to produce some fantastic snooker players, a real hotbed for snooker punching way above its weight.
Yeah, I think it's just Northern Ireland people in general. Like I said before, we're just brought up in a way to fight for everything. It's tough times here at sort of different moments throughout people's careers, probably more so in the past than it is now, but I think that sort of determined, gritty attitude's just instilled in us from a young age, and I think that sets us in sort of good stead for the professional game, because it's all right being talented and feeling like the game comes easy, but there's a lot more to it, and it took me a long time to realise that, but there's a lot more to it, and I think being from here will stand everyone in good stead. I think we do all right.
Love life in Antrim, but the new season is fast approaching. Looking forward to it?
I am. I'll be honest, I'm extremely underprepared if I'm going to be ready for anything soon, but I'm fortunate in the sense that Shanghai Masters is probably going to be first up for me. Not going to play Championship League, and I'll probably just use that as a bit of a warm-up, if I'm honest, which is a shame to say, because Shanghai's one of my favourite events, but the chances of me being ready for it are very, very slim. But then I've got a bit of a break again till end of August before there's a run of big events, so I can get my game in good shape for that. But just some other things going on at the minute, which I'm prioritising over practice and I'm happy with that, to be honest. I've made the decision to sort of approach it that way, but when the new season comes round for me, I'll be more than ready to hit the ground running and put some hard hours in the practice table and hopefully nick a few wins against Jordan and Robbie in the practice as well.
I'm sure they'll be keen to play as well. We won't take up any more of your time. We'll let you get practicing. Thanks for your time, Mark.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.